So I think we're at the point now, or the Yankees are at the point, where it's a good idea to decide what they're going to do with not only Miguel Andujar, but also Clint Frazier. Both of them, not one or the other, both of them. And the reason why I say this is a couple different angles here. Well, number one, they've been here since this is their fifth year here. I think Clint Frazier came over in the Andrew Miller trade, 2016, but he didn't really get his first taste of Major League playing time until he was late 2017, early 2018. And Andujar, obviously they had signed him as a free agent, international free agent, and they both didn't really get significant playing time until 2018, which is 5 years ago, 4 seasons ago, excuse me. So they played relatively well. Miguel Andujar got a more robust shot because of the availability at his position, and he played well. I mean, he was runner-up for Rookie of the Year, and hit 28 home runs, and became a doubles-hitting machine. So his bat was evident from the start. So was Clint Frazier. I mean, both of them were known for their bat and elite bats and such. So Clint Frazier came up, was productive for his short stint. I mean, he didn't get as much of a opportunity to play as Andujar did because of the positional lack of options or lack of depth, I should say, or I should say lack of availability or opportunity because of the depth. But he's proved right from the start that his bat was legit. It was a major league level bat. So, but now we're at the point where, Aaron Hicks is out, and fast forward 4 years later when they both had a string of injuries that curtailed their development for, on and off for the last 4 years. And they're still young. They still have several years of team control, which is a good thing, and they've proven to be valuable players when given the opportunity. But we're at the point now with Aaron Hicks out probably for the year. The Yankees are looking at, what's being discussed now is what to do to bring in Jay Bruce, to bring in Delino DeShields. I know they were talking to the Rangers about it and stuff. The fact that, Miguel Andujar is not an option, and you even have Estevan Florial, who's at AAA. He's playing well, and I know they want to develop him slowly. And sometimes I think the Yankees are a little bit too patient with some of their younger players, and they give them a little bit too much time. And sometimes it backfires. Whereas Toronto, and just using Vlad Guerrero and Bichette and even Biggio, they gave them a shot in the majors. They took their lumps, and even Guerrero was called overrated and overhyped and blah blah blah. But they took their lumps at the major league level, okay? And they learned how to adapt, which hitters are supposed to do because generally they're behind pitchers, right? Especially in spring training. So this is no different. They learned how to adapt, and they made their adjustments at the major league level, which is where I think, Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier would have been well off doing that had they stayed healthy over the last couple of years. But unfortunately, they weren't able to, whether it be concussion or shoulder surgery or whatever it is. But they've proven now to be healthy, and their bats, back up to productive levels. And even though Clint Frazier, did win the starting job this offseason and spring training, and rightfully so, he earned it. And he has struggled with the bat. Now he's made some recent mechanical adjustments, which hopefully, will kind of get his back to normal. But his glove right now, he's made some significant strides defensively. His glove is way ahead of his bat, and for a guy that's known for his bat, that's not necessarily a great thing. And the fact that he hasn't, locked down that left fielder's job yet, starting left fielder's job, is one reason, in my opinion, why Miguel Andujar is still here. Andujar, unfortunately, is blocked at multiple positions. He's blocked at third base by Urshela, and he's blocked at left field either by Clint Frazier or whoever else. Now, the Yankees could essentially move Clint Frazier to center field right now and give Andujar a shot in left. But if you're going to give these guys an opportunity to really prove themselves, provided they stay healthy, it's got to be for the whole season or more than that. It can't be just 1 month. 2 months. That is not a good enough sample. It doesn't give them enough time to adjust, especially for a guy like Andujar who's not playing consistently here. How do you expect this guy to adjust to guys like Garrett Cole and Jacob deGrom and Amir Garrett and some of these elite closers if they're not playing consistently? That's really hard to do. It's nearly impossible. So it's just something that to me, I think about every day, and especially now because like I said, they're talking about Jay Bruce or Delino DeShields, bringing in another outfielder when they already have guys who can fill in those spots, who are more affordable, younger, and have more controllable years. So that's why I think the Yankees are at the point now where they need to figure out what they're going to do, because What, you're going to waste these years of team control, or you're going to let them build up trade value at AAA, or even at the major league level, and then move them for another valuable piece? Or are they going to bring in, I mentioned recently in a video, and it's in the description, talking about realistic left-handed bats for the Yankees. And take a look at that, because I think there are a couple guys on there, with the exception of Joey Gallo, who has strikeout issues. There are two other guys in that video who I think could be viable options, particularly because they're switch hitters, and they play infield and outfield. So that to me is a versatility upgrade, which the Yankees could use. So, but that still remains to be seen what they're going to do. Fact is, Andujar hasn't had the opportunity, but when he has, he's taken advantage of it. Now his bat's you see his bat's kind of coming into rhythm again. He's getting some clutch hits. And Clint Frazier now, he's made some adjustments. He's kind of getting some clutch hits. But are the Yankees going to keep them here and give them opportunities to just plant them there, and then have a guy like Brett Gardner back everybody up on the outfield? I mean, they have Greg Allen, but he's nursing an injury. So, and Florial, who can come up any day now. I think his 7 to 10 day window after being promoted to AAA has expired now, so he can be called up if they want to. But I think it's important at this point for them to really decide whether they're going to commit to these guys or not. Whether it be one of them or both of them, I think it's an important thing to do. And unfortunately for Miguel Andujar, his bat is obviously legit, but he's shown to be under average or below average at every defensive position he's been put into. So that's a kind of a strike against him. Frazier's defense has improved tremendously, but his bat's regressed. So now hopefully the bat catches up. So there's still some things that they need to work on developmentally, obviously, but are they going to developmentally work on him in the minor league level? Or are they going to developmentally work on him at the major league level? And that to me is one of the important questions that needs to be answered, particularly for the Yankees brass. I mean, why bring in? Is the Shields going to be that much of an upgrade over either one of these guys or both of them? Is Gallo? He strikes out a ton, but he doesn't have a better arm than Judge in right field, and he's been playing in right field. So where are you going to play him? Left field? Okay, but clear upgrade. I know they need a left-handed bat, but is it a clear upgrade? And at what cost is it going to be? Is the other question. So that's why I think the two guys that I mentioned are better options than Gallo, but even better options potentially than Andujar and Frazier. And in only certain situations would I move either one or both. So if you're getting a guy like that or a guy like that and in a separate trade, a controllable pitcher for depth, because we don't know if Kluber's going to come back next year, and we don't know if Taillon's going to keep making improvements, because he's under team control for next year as well. But we just don't know. There are too many uncertainties. And as we know, historically speaking, especially over the last decade or so, the Yankees at some point suffer injuries in the starting rotation. And thankfully they've been healthy. Thankfully the starters are pitching well, and even giving the relievers a break over the past couple weeks, which is good. But at the same time, that depth, I know we've got Davey Garcia, but Clark Schmidt's still down. He's not up yet. And beyond Schmidt, I mean, we've got a couple of these Luis Medina, Luis Gil type guys, but where's another viable option? So will they flip one of these guys for a starter at the deadline? I don't know. Will they flip one of them for a more versatile position player? I don't know. But I think it's the point now, we're at the point now where, they've got to make a decision. And it's either, in my opinion, keep both and play them both regularly and have Gardner back them up, or move them. And that's it. I mean, I understand the logic too, that the Yankees, you want to keep him. Okay, I get that, but why are we going to waste productive years of young players that are affordable on affordable contracts when we don't really have to? So, and again, being blocked, okay, but Stanton's on the IL, unfortunately, and they called up Ryan Lamar, okay, but why Lamar over somebody else? I don't understand some of the moves they've been making. But to me, I think it has to either be both of them playing or none of them playing. So at this point, at another point, maybe a different story. But to me, that's the only way they're going to really show their values, if they both get opportunities to play over a long-term period, which to me has got to be the rest of this season. But do they have the room? Well, they kind of do now, right? Where you can move Frazier to center field because he's shown to be more than capable, and he's fast too. Should be more than capable of covering it, especially with his improved glove. And you can put Andujar in left field if you want. Again, he's got to continue to work on his defense like Frazier did. Frazier's defense improved significantly, so I'm sure Andujar's defense can as well. But you'd have two lively young bats in the lineup on a regular basis to go with the rest of the lineup. And yes, two righties, so I understand the logic for a lefty hitter. And if they want to go that route, okay. They still got, Esteban Florial, who's a left-handed bat. Tyler Wade's not a sexy name, but he's been productive recently, so to me, I only trade them for a left-handed bat if the bat is a clear upgrade and not any other situation. The only time I trade him is for a pitcher if the pitcher represents an upgrade over what we currently have. So that's my logic on Andujar and Frazier. I think they're at a point where they kind of need to decide what they're going to do and stop. Forget what the team options and this and that. We'll have this. I get all that stuff, but you're going to play the guys on the regular or not? Yes, Frazier's gotten more opportunity this year, and hopefully his stiff neck is not a big thing, and hopefully he can continue to play and make the adjustments he needs to. But Andujar, now that he's here, is he going to stay? I mean, like I said, why are we pursuing Delino the Shields? Why? I don't know. So, let me know what you think. Give me your feedback in the comments. I'm really curious to know how you feel about these two guys. And I know we've been talking about them a lot, and a lot of other folks have been talking about them, either talking one or the other. I think both of them should be discussed, and both of them should be discussed now. So, but you let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys.